The partnership between Sunderland and Saint-Nazaire is a really special relationship for us as a city, so I was delighted when this Eco Twins project was developed. It's a great example of how one of our oldest international partnerships is still as relevant today as it was when it was first set up in 1953. In fact, the maritime and shipbuilding heritage which we share inspired colleagues in both areas as they chose the theme of sustainable travel and transport for the project.
Dans les domaines que nous avions mis en commun, nous arrivions au bout de chacun de ces domaines et qu'il était important de poursuivre les relations avec Sunderland dans d'autres domaines, d'explorer d'autres lieux. Et ce qui est important, c'est de permettre à Saint-Nazaire de poursuivre des relations avec des villes qui avaient les mêmes centres d'intérêt, puisque Sunderland a été une des villes reconnue dans le monde entier pour sa construction navale, même si ce n'est plus le cas maintenant. Et Saint-Nazaire est toujours dans la construction navale, donc ça crée des liens qui étaient importants de continuer à faire vivre.
We want our young people to have the opportunity to experience other cultures and to learn about the wider world, and I'm sure as you watch this DVD and hear firsthand from people who have been involved in both Sunderland and Saint-Nazaire, you'll see how projects like Eco Twins are an excellent way of introducing international dimension into the curriculum.
Alors, le projet Comenius Regio nous a permis d'étendre la coopération de la ville au niveau scolaire avec les enfants des écoles primaires, puisque au total ce sont 6 écoles, collèges qui y participent, dont pour Saint-Nazaire 2 écoles et un collège. Donc c'était très important d'étendre la coopération au niveau de ces enfants et des enseignants. Pour que ce projet-là, le projet de coopération, concerne les enfants le plus tôt possible. Et c'est une ouverture pour eux de savoir qu'il y a d'autres villes et d'autres pays qui fonctionnent différemment, et ça leur permet d'apprendre pour certains une autre langue, donc la langue anglaise, et puis de connaître comment on peut vivre différemment ailleurs tout en restant dans le domaine de l'Europe.
Nearly 3 years ago now, the European Commission launched a new strand to its Comenius programme, which is a programme for schools under the Lifelong Learning Programme, which was Regio, which was aiming to link not just schools directly but regions within Europe. And we decided at that point it would be an excellent opportunity for us to do some work with one of our long-standing partnerships. Having decided that we wanted to try to apply for one of these new Comenius Regio projects, we approached our colleagues in Saint-Nazaire at the International Relations team, with whom we've done a lot of work in the past and had a good track record of delivering strong projects. And they too were particularly interested in the idea and thought that it presented a new opportunity and a new way of delivering some of the targets they've got in education. Sunderland actually proposed the topic of sustainability to our colleagues in Saint-Nazaire because it's a really significant issue for us, and it's something that is high on our agenda within school's curriculum. In Sunderland, generally at the moment, sustainability is a really important topic as we strive to reach our low carbon economy, and this only really looks set to increase, particularly as we see things like the electric vehicle infrastructure growing. And we've got Nissan now who have secured the production of the Leaf, which is to be their new electric vehicle coming forward. We thought all these things really would tie into the topic of sustainability. This is a key topic for Saint-Nazaire as well, so they were really supportive from the start. They were in the middle of rolling out their new electric bus scheme, which has since started as the project's run. So we thought there'd be a lot of information for the learners and staff on both sides to share. And really, transport seemed at the heart of the link that we share with Saint-Nazaire. Having decided to work with Saint-Nazaire, we began the process of application. So firstly we applied for some money, some funding from the British Council here to undertake a preparatory visit. So this we did in the January before we had to apply in February, and that was really useful. It gave us the opportunity just to meet directly with our counterparts and to really start to shape the project and what we wanted it to look like. And it was myself who travelled, as well as a colleague from Children's Services, and by that stage a colleague from Groundwork who'd already committed to being involved. And we just spent 2 or 3 days meeting colleagues in Saint-Nazaire, getting to see some of the work that was already being undertaken there and work out how it would fit with the future aims of the project we were shaping, and to finally work out who the really best partner would be to work with in Saint-Nazaire as an additional partner which was the point at which we approached the Municipal Youth Office and met with colleagues there. And following that, really the application process was quite straightforward. It's one form that we completed and submitted both to our national agency in the UK and theirs in France, and we completed it jointly. We did it in English, which was the working language of this project. We had a dissemination event for this project recently, at which all the schools who've been involved came and presented some of the work they've undertaken, showed some of the results of their activities so far, to which we invited all the schools in Sunderland to attend. As well as that, the schools and organisations involved have been developing a toolkit of resources which would enable other schools more simply to undertake a project like this, which contains resources on sustainable education and modern foreign language teaching and so on. And we really hope that along with the expertise that we've now got in the schools who've been involved so far piloting this project, that it's going to make it a lot easier for other schools in Sunderland to engage in similar projects in the future.
It wasn't really that difficult. I think probably the language. My French is very basic. Luckily for us, two of the teachers from the Saint-Nazaire school spoke good English.
Bien sûr que j'encourage tous les collègues qui veulent le faire à se lancer dans ces liaisons, dans ces jumelages. Même si la langue peut paraître un handicap, c'est pas vrai. Il y a des écoles qui ne font pas l'enseignement du français, il y a des écoles qui ne travaillent pas l'anglais, mais si on a la chance d'avoir des personnes qui traduisent, on peut échanger sur le fond, sur la pédagogie, sur la connaissance des institutions, sur la manière de faire, l'image que l'on a de l'enfant. Il ne faut pas que la langue soit une barrière. Ce qui est important, c'est notre volonté de partager des connaissances sur l'éducation.
My favourite part has been getting to know the teachers in France and sharing best practice with them. Another reason is that looking at the differences, considering we're all European, I did think that we would be quite similar, but the differences in our systems, in our schools, was massive.
Moi, ce qui m'a intéressé le plus dans le projet, c'est de pouvoir venir ici pour voir. C'est la première fois donc je viens visiter une école en Angleterre. Donc je suis ravi de pouvoir passer ces 2 jours, même si c'est très court, et observer, prendre des idées de ce qui se fait dans un pays proche du nôtre, mais avec un système éducatif quand même relativement différent.
Told them what our favourite thing was in school and what else we liked in school doing. And what was our favourite part of school. Like what our favourite food is, what our names is, how old we are, where we live, and if we've got any brothers and sisters. We could use our email and send it through there. On the computer there is this website and we could see them, and we had to type what we would want to say to them, and they would type back. We did a video saying what our name is and where we lived in French, and then Mrs. Ingram sent them to the children in France. If I had a chance, I would keep writing letters to my pen pal. Yeah, I think we will keep in touch because I think we all think it was really fun to learn about each other, and yeah, I think we will get in touch on Skype and writing letters to each other. Yeah, we learned a lot about their school in Saint-Nazaire.
We realised that for a lot of our children, they were living in, this worldwide society, but they had very, very limited understandings of things beyond, in some cases, beyond Castletown. So that was why we initially became involved, and I still think there's a lot of mileage in that children have their eyes opened to what there is beyond their own school and their own country. We have, because of visitors who come to our country from partner schools, They share experiences about their schools and their children with our children and staff. And they've also linked up on video conferencing. They've done like pen pal type situations. They've made things for each other's schools. So they just, it's widening the horizons, and it's helping them hopefully to prepare to be worldwide citizens rather than just citizens of our country.
Saint-Nazaire is a lot different to Sunderland in many ways. The schools are completely different, their ethos is different, so it was interesting watching how the children interacted with the teachers and how they learnt and sharing best practice.
Ce qui a été très important pour notre classe, c'est quand les collègues de Castletown nous ont offert des livres sur les légendes de Sunderland, comme The Curse of the London Worm, et on a traduit en français, et les enfants de Saint-Nazaire ont appris à lire et à découvrir l'histoire de Sunderland à travers cette légende.
I think the children have been amazed actually. They had all these preconceptions about what French children would be, what their favourite food would be, and just simple things like that. The actual correspondence and getting to know children, that they all realise they're all just 8 and 9-year-olds, they all like the same things, they all eat pizza, they all watch SpongeBob SquarePants. So the simple things have really amazed our children. They've also took from it a much deeper understanding of the topic of sustainability, which they previously didn't have.
I think from a head teacher's point of view and the strategic side of things, we're aware of the workload on staff, and really I'm not into being involved in projects that aren't going to help and support our school, but I think the sort of theme of this project, the sustainability and such like, was a theme that was quite close to our hearts, with eco schools, sustainability, the cycling and the road awareness and things. So it was a project that actually fitted in with a lot of the curriculum topics that we were already covering.
Some of us showed them around the school and that. And we also showed a few of the teachers our garden, that we planted vegetables and fruit and everything.
Ce que j'ai préféré dans ce projet, c'est les échanges, les vrais échanges avec les rencontres des partenaires, des autres enseignants de Sunderland, des différentes écoles et collèges, et vraiment les liens qui se sont tissés avec l'école de Castletown, qui était notre école de référence.
When we went to the wildfire park in the pond where we had a look at all the creatures. Yeah, it was really exciting because we got to see in reality and the peoples that actually talking to us in the letters. So yeah, it was fun to see. When we were feeding the ducks, it was actually really fun to see someone from a different country. We had a look around the park and we feeded the birds, and then we went to the pond and found some creatures.
Moi, ce qui m'a impressionné ici, c'est l'ouverture vers l'extérieur, l'ouverture à l'international, avec les projets que nous ont présentés les élèves ce matin. On voit que on s'intéresse ici au monde entier, qu'il y a une pédagogie qui est vraiment axée sur des projets et des projets internationaux. Chose qui, je pense, est assez rare en France. Et c'est une très belle leçon là pour nous.
Like we come to school in like cars and buses and that, and sometimes a walk. But in French, they normally come to school on the bikes and different. We found out that it's better to walk than use petrol with cars and buses. So plus it will give you exercise. If we didn't walk to school, or because we done in year 5 we learned how to ride a bike and doing the cycling proficiency, so we could ride our bikes to school and save the petrol in the car.
We've been teaching them to think local, act global. So yes, they understand about recycling and looking after the environment and growing things in Rio, but they also can appreciate that there's a bigger sort of dimension to this, and linking up with France has allowed us to show them that it's truly global, really is global.
Look at the wider world issues and see how, even though you might just be making a tiny little bit difference, that tiny little bit of difference, if everybody was to do it, would have a bigger impact, and then that would be useful. And then encouraging the children especially to understand how we need to look after the world and the planet and even our local environment, and for future generations.
Totally broadened my horizons and opened my eyes to another country's education system as a teacher, and in terms of actual teaching and learning, it's improved my class's knowledge and understanding of the topic of sustainability and how important it is to look after their planet. And it was something that they really took for granted before and hadn't thought deeply about. So it's twofold really, for me as a teacher, and then for my class have also, I believe, taken something from the project.
I've worked with Groundworks on a number of occasions. We have done a lot of work in the local area with them, developing litter picking, getting the children to look after their environment. We've done some tree planting. They helped us to develop our school allotment garden, and they also worked with the children within the Comenius project on looking after our environment and the sustainability of the transport.
From a head teacher's point of view, I do think it has to be something that's not just an add-on to what you're already doing. I think it's important that with any of these projects, it's something that is already part of your school and part of the development of that, because the last thing I want to do as a head teacher is to expect my staff to do extra work to what they're already doing, because they already have a huge workload. But I think if it can support and actually enhance what we're doing with children, then it's well worth being part of.
As a teacher, Groundworks gave us ideas to use within the classroom and within using the local area to develop the sustainability and any environmental links that we wouldn't normally use, and games to use within the class, and showed us ways of developing our school grounds so that we could use it within our lessons.
We've got Mr. Howe who's got this group of people called Brain Team, and we've got our old garden, and me and Callum are in it, and there's a few other people from our class in year 4 and year 3, and we keep planting new things, and like potatoes and apples and all sorts of vegetables.
And we've got a little thing reduce, reuse and recycle.
With Groundworks, the children have been to different projects started by Groundworks, and Groundworks have certainly been in school and helped with the tree planting and given us ideas and that kind of thing.
Working within the Regio project has been fantastic for Castletown and myself. We've developed great friendships with the school in France. We've got a long-term link with the school with pen friends, and also with the teacher coming over to work with us for the year. We've developed our French language skills, and it's also been a fantastic opportunity for our children to find out about other places and other cultures.
For us, especially with having Martine coming to our school, I don't think the project's going to end now. I think we will continue, certainly with sending letters and keeping the pen pal side of things open.
Donc effectivement, ce projet-là a permis de renforcer les liens entre les enseignants des différentes écoles de Sunderland et de Saint-Nazaire. Ça a permis notamment, dans ce cadre-là, effectivement, une collègue enseignante de Saint-Nazaire d'aller enseigner l'année prochaine pendant 1 an dans l'école jumelée, donc à Castletown, dans le cadre d'un projet Jules Verne. Donc ça permet effectivement, le fait qu'il y a eu ce projet de Comenius Regio, de renforcer ces liens-là, et cet exemple-là effectivement le démontre.
And of the 3 schools who have been significantly involved in this project, St Paul's, Castletown and the secondary Catholic school boys school St Aidan's, in Castletown next year we actually have a native French speaker from Saint-Nazaire coming to work for a whole year. Now that's going to give benefits not only to the children in that school, but to the children in Sunderland generally, who will have access to a native French speaker looking at primary language work, the cultural work as well as the linguistic stuff.
Les bénéfices que je retire de ces rencontres, c'est qu'on a tout à gagner pour l'avenir, à mieux se connaître, à connaître nos différences et à connaître nos points communs, à tisser des liens pour nous et pour les générations à venir, dans un esprit de respect et de relationship, d'amitié. Mettre en valeur nos valeurs communes, nos différences culturelles et notre désir commun d'humanité.
Déjà le fait que plusieurs enseignants puissent venir ici, qu'il y ait plusieurs échanges, ça a une influence importante, évidemment, sur déjà notre façon d'envisager l'école. Les conséquences, ça a été aussi qu'une enseignante décide de venir travailler pendant une année en Angleterre. C'est pas une conséquence négligeable.
It's always inspiring to hear about the impact of projects like this on our young people, and I'm delighted that we have been able to create these opportunities through the special relationship we share with Saint-Nazaire.
C'est très important de permettre à d'autres écoles de Saint-Nazaire de continuer ce projet-là. Je parlais tout à l'heure du jumelage qu'il y avait entre les deux villes. En 2013, ce sera le 60e anniversaire. Ceux qui étaient à l'origine de ce projet-là, pour la plupart, ne sont plus là. D'autres, la vie les a dispersés, et que régulièrement dans Saint-Nazaire, lorsqu'on rencontre des personnes maintenant assez âgées, nous parlent encore de ce projet et des visites à Sunderland et des venues de personnes de Sunderland à Saint-Nazaire, et ça commence à faire partie de la vie de Saint-Nazaire, donc c'est très important que ça se poursuive.
I think it was a really good experience and a great opportunity to write to different people from different countries in it, and I think our language did get better. We did learn a bit more French.
Since working with the French children, my language has got better than it was when I first started learning French.
I think what's really important in terms of developing international projects and taking forward the international agenda that we have for Sunderland is the leadership that we see within our own organisation, within the City Council, within schools across the city, and within the partner organisations that can really inspire people and young people as they come through. And I think that's going to be fundamental to the city's future. So I'm really proud to be part of that and trying to create opportunities through projects like this.
Forcément, ce projet est légitime puisqu'il est important pour les enfants de France, mais de mon point de vue de tous les pays, de mieux se connaître. L'Europe se fera avec des enfants qui connaissent les autres enfants européens, et le monde se fera en ayant une meilleure connaissance des différentes cultures, des différentes façons de travailler, de réfléchir, de s'amuser. L'avenir appartient aux enfants du monde entier.
Well, my favourite part of it was meeting new people from France. My favourite part was where we got to write letters to each other and find out about each other, and that was fun to find out interesting facts about other people. My favourite part as well was writing the letters and getting them back and seeing what their favourite things was and telling them what our favourite things was.
I think the real benefits in any international project are that we're seeing students and teachers experiencing another culture. And yes, we're talking about the specific benefits around sustainability and how we build that into our curriculum. And that's an important aspect in terms of the regeneration of this whole city. But sometimes, just for our children particularly, to see that the world is bigger than Sunderland, that people live in different ways, in different contexts. It supports the whole idea of a tolerant approach to different cultures and an understanding approach to different cultures.
on va pouvoir réutiliser des choses que nous avons pu voir ici, et puis que ça nous encourage aussi à nous inscrire dans de nouveaux projets de ce type-là.
In terms of people getting out and about and children's involvement and staff's involvement with the wider world, can at times be limited. So this was very much an impactful opportunity to get the children to be part of that bigger world.
I really like to be in a project like this again because it helps you to get to know more people and to learn new things. Our teachers have been there to see what it was like in their school, so I think it was quite a good experience to come here and see what our school was like.
It's made us realise how important it is to get to know people from around the world, learning a language and how important that is, and how we need to be able to communicate with people through language, through the different media, through ICT.
So we've now got a link with a school in France that we previously didn't have, and that can only broaden our children's horizons because we are trying to teach them that we are, you know, part of a global society, not just our local society. And I think it's really opened our children's eyes quite a lot, so hopefully that legacy will continue for our school.
Alors pour moi, en tant qu'employée à Sunderland City Council, responsable de maintenir les liens qu'on a avec nos partenaires à Saint-Nazaire, ce projet m'a apporté beaucoup d'avantages. Ça a été super intéressant de voir dès le début les liens développés entre les professeurs, les enfants, les élèves et enfin les collègues de l'OMJ et de Groundwork aussi bien que de la mairie à Saint-Nazaire et ici. Et c'est bien de savoir qu'en fait ce projet va continuer. Je sais que toutes les écoles et le collège aussi vont maintenir les liens qu'ils ont développés à Saint-Nazaire. Et je sais aussi que ce que va faire Martine Koyek l'année prochaine, quand elle va passer une année scolaire ici à Sunderland, je sais que ça va apporter beaucoup au collège et aux écoles à Sunderland.
Donc moi j'ai participé au mois de mai dernier à la conférence européenne des Comenius Regio qui se tenait à Bordeaux. Donc c'était en fin de compte tous les partenaires des collectivités qui présentaient les différents projets au niveau européen. Et justement lors de cette conférence-là, on a montré qu'effectivement ce programme permettait effectivement de renforcer les liens au niveau européen et que l'élève, parce que voilà on est au cœur de ce projet-là, que l'élève ait effectivement un objectif d'européanisation, c'est-à-dire que voilà, on part sur effectivement que l'enfant devienne de plus en plus européen. Donc ce projet Comenius Regio effectivement a une légitimité et on souhaite effectivement le poursuivre les prochaines années.
I think because it's something that's part of what we're already doing, it will be ongoing, and I just hope that we can build on the sustainable agenda and look towards maybe doing more work linked to that in the future. I think it's just going to support the curriculum and support the way we want our school to go in the future.
Well, the main legacy for us is the link that we're going to continue with our partner school. We'll look forward to continuing that into year 6 with the current year 5s and keeping that connection going, whilst also developing our school grounds and feeding back our project developments with the French and letting them know how we're getting on, so we'll continue that.
Widening our children's horizons and extending the experience of our staff is a significant way of improving attainment and aspiration across the city.
I know that staff and pupils from here at Castletown Primary, St Paul's Riot and St Aidan's have really enjoyed working with their partners in Saint-Nazaire over the time of this project, and I'm sure the 3 individual school partnerships will continue to grow in the months and years to come.